morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Dallas. Happy, good, hot, super hot Wednesday morning to you. How many of you are new here to this 1 Million Cups Dallas? Okay, we have a few people. That's awesome. Thank you for coming. We'd love to know more about you. So you do know that we have an app, or if you don't know, we'd love for you to sign up and check in there. So I'm Isabel. I work with the community organizing team. There are 6 of us. There's 3 of us here today. Myself, Isabel, Gigi in the front, who will be doing the timing, and Chirag standing there with the Dallas Startup Week shirt. For those of you that are new, you might not have a background on what 1 Million Cups actually is. 1 Million Cups Dallas was founded by the Kaufman organization in Missouri, and the whole point is in order to have entrepreneurs be able to connect with other entrepreneurs. So often we're doing our work and we are zoned in on just what we're doing, but we don't get a chance to meet other people, collaborate, and really build community, inspire, and empower each other, and really live a rewarding entrepreneurial life and journey. So that's what this is about. You come and you listen to 2 presenters present their businesses. They each have 6 minutes to present. We do time them, and once they hit that 6-minute mark, we do start clapping. Nothing personal to the presenter, it's just how it has to go for everybody. And then we have a 15-minute Q&A, which our team will lead, so the presenter doesn't have to worry about conducting their own Q&A session. So please participate. We do want to have your comments, and we also want your questions. That's how the entrepreneur wants to grow. They are expecting to hear from you. And even if you have some comment that you think might be a little painful, it's okay. As long as you're coming from a place of love and it is about supporting, that's what we want you to do. You can check in with the app I just mentioned as well, so if you're not on there, we'd love for you to get on there. One cool factor as well is that you can leave feedback there. So once the presenter has finished, the app is designed so that you can leave comments there. So maybe you don't want to ask a question, maybe you don't want to comment, but you can do that through the app. And then there's also an easy way to just do ratings. So you're just like, from 0 to 10, you're commenting that way. Also, before I forget, let me apologize if anybody had trouble getting up in the building. The reason that happened is because the deck has moved from this space. They've moved uptown to their new space, which is super exciting. They have a launch party happening on Friday, which you're welcome to attend. You just have to go on the website and register there. We are continuing to run our sessions in here on Wednesday mornings because we still have the AV equipment. We have the chairs here still, and it's working out fine for us, except that the elevators are locked, but we're doing our best to get everybody upstairs as quickly as possible. So thanks for being here and being patient with us through this transition. We'll be in the Centrum next month, starting July 11th. July 4th is a holiday for us too, so please don't show up. I know you might like being at 1 Million Cups on Wednesday mornings, but that day, no one will be here. All right, so we will start off with our first presenter right now. Bless you, Monica. So we are bringing the Big Mail Project to the stage. So we start with a round of applause for all of our presenters. We welcome Justin to the stage from the Big Mail Project.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me just fine?
Yes.
Love the enthusiasm. This is really amazing. Awesome. So my name is Justin Farrell. Forward, not backwards. Can I get the presentation, please?
Not bad.
Excellent. So my name is Justin Farrell, and I am the founder of the Big Mail Project. So how many of you know about marketing? Excellent. How many of you have birthdays? Okay, good. I'm very happy to see that. So basically, the Big Mail Project, we do direct mail. We are an online app that essentially has streamlined the process to deliver direct mail. So we print, stamp, address, deliver, and track the mail that's being sent. And just so if you're confused, yes, that's right, it's snail mail. We are not email by any means. I've had many questions where I get deep into a presentation or conversation and people go, oh, like a card. I'm like, yes, we do letters and postcards. We do it all for you. So basically, within 15 minutes, within like this conversation, conversation that we're having right now, you could have sent 10,000 letters and gone about your day. Dramatic pause. That's powerful. So, with any great sort of application or new business, there's a story behind it. And essentially the story that I want to tell you kind of starts with my other business. I have a design studio, we do graphic design. That's not important. What's important is the problem. The problem that I was facing was that I was losing clients. At the end of 2016, I had lost 2 clients because they wanted to do something simple as a holiday card, birthday cards. And so I was like, that's no problem at all. We can design the most amazing card for you to send out. Your clients, your customers are going to love it. They're going to give you feedback. They're going to buy stuff from you. It's amazing. It's a great process. And the next question that I asked him was, so how are you addressing these cards? I have a background doing direct mail for some large corporations and large advertising agencies, and this little portion right here, the address, is very important because that can be very time consuming, whether you're a small business or a large business. And they said, oh, well, we do that by hand. I'm like, how big is your list? I said, oh, it's about 300, 500. I was like, you're kidding me, right? How many of y'all would actually sit down and handwrite 500 postcards or letters to potential clients? Yeah, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. So, I was like, that's no problem. We can take care of that for you. And essentially I'll go and triple bid and work through printers and try to get you the best price to send everything out so you don't have to do anything. And they're like, that's fantastic. We love that. So the result that I found is that it was expensive. It was very expensive to design, to write the card, purchase the stock, any sort of images. Postage was really costly. Costly was actually merging the data, taking an Excel spreadsheet, merging it into the computer, and having everything do it for you. Printer management was also another problem that I was having because it's time, and that's the last point. Time going into printer management, doing any sort of meetings. Essentially, that whole process was very expensive, and I was losing clients. I was like, here you go, here's how much it's going to cost, and they were like, wow. We can't do that. So I was losing clients. And it was at that point that I realized that there's an easier way to do this. There has to be. And so I did some research. I saw an opportunity. And so then I created the snail mail revolution, the big mail project. And I built the application based on the simple principle of automating birthday cards. So that's why I was asking if y'all had birthdays. Essentially the idea was that if you had 5 family members or 10,000 clients, customers in your database, you could set it up in January, press go, and not have to worry about it for the entire year. Not have to worry about it for the entire year. Just want to stress that point there. Because it does it all for you. And at the end of the month, you get a bill for whatever you send. So our mantra is essentially we want to make sending direct mail as easy as email. Technology has come great processes to send email. People have no problem with just sending email, but we want to change that. There's a huge void in direct mail, and my presentation is about to speed up. So there's a huge void in direct mail, and essentially if you wanted to send a postcard, you can go online, upload your imagery, your Excel spreadsheet, and send it. We've simplified the process of sending mail, so this is kind of a screenshot of our dashboard. We're working on adding more and more additional features to that. So simplifying the process, there's a pointer go. Simple process, easy steps. Walk you through it. Sending, this right here is basically selecting the formats. For now we've got 5 different formats. So for postcards, we've got 3 formats there, black and white letters, color letters, and we're working on adding handwritten cards. That's an actual human being writing the card for you, so you don't have to do it. What's the elephant in the room? These people do it, we do it better. They're trying to upsell you for other stuff, but we want to streamline and make the process a lot faster. Here are the great features, and contact me here.
Thank you, Justin. That was a great presentation. The first question that we have for you is, what can we as a community do for you?
You can all go to thebigmailproject.com, log in, and test it. I am looking for people to break it. I want you to say, Justin, this sucks. This does not do what I thought it does. I want you to do this, or I thought it would work better to do it that way. That is the most valuable thing. If you wanted to send one postcard for 99 cents, I actually lose money on that. Don't tell anybody. But it's something, that feedback is so valuable. So that would be the one thing that y'all can help me out with, is go and break my app.
Hey, nice presentation, man. Thank you. So a lot of entrepreneurs kind of have an idea and they think, oh, I'll make an app, or I'll make a web app or something like that. They don't really know how to get started with that. They don't have any resources. They don't know what technology they need to use. They don't even know who to ask these questions for. So can you walk us through the process from when you had the idea into how it actually came to be that you were able to get some development done and have a product out the door?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea came to me. I mean, let's just say it was in a meeting. Literally, whenever you have those aha moments, it's like, okay, cool. But how do you take that idea into an actual product? My experience was that I have a background working with architects, engineers, and one of my good friends actually was able to help out and support me with this. So we sat down and basically kind of walked through how the application works. Right now we're currently on version 2.4, I think, and version 1.0 was a severely smaller sort of MVP product, so that we could learn and understand how to get people, or how y'all were perceiving how the Big Mail project worked. And from that knowledge, we adapted version 2 to make the process and everything streamlined and simpler. Did that answer your question, or?
Yeah, I mean, basically what I heard is that you leverage your personal network. You do people already.
Yes, I mean, you can leverage your personal network if you're looking, if you don't have a personal network, it's great to, I mean, there's a lot of great overseas stuff right now. If you're looking for, more for your money, you run into a lot of risks of doing that though. Personal pickups myself, but there's a whole bunch of different resources out there to get an app developed.
Nice job. I really liked it. I have a question for you about your website.
Yes.
Did you develop it? Are you a developer? Did you do it yourself? And is this customized, or is this like a Shopify WordPress site?
It is. I mean, the site itself is built on top of WordPress. We modified it to look and meet the design and the brand that we created. The actual platform. So, the bigmailproject.com is different than the actual application and how that is developed. So, two different platforms for at least infrastructures and how they're built.
Morning. I had a question about, can you talk a little bit about how much revenue you're generating so far, how you're acquiring some new clients, what your business strategy is with this?
Okay, so, can y'all hear me? Okay, now I can hear you. It's kind of weird. It was in and out for me. So revenue-wise, we have anywhere from, it's about $8,000 a month coming in, and that's from 2 or 3 different clients. We have essentially 2 environments set up so that if people are just looking to go in and tinker around, or if they're just wanting to send out cards, there's one environment for that. For businesses that are willing to commit and create larger and send larger quantities of mail, we have an enterprise solution set up where they get discounted prices for that. So as far as the marketing and how we're going and building our network, it's a lot of word of mouth right now, and essentially it's a very uphill battle of trying to break the digital mantra. Sorry, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
More financial questions.
Right.
You mentioned before that this all started because you lost a couple of clients because the cost you were going to charge them was too much. So I'm curious, what is the cost now with the new company versus before?
So the new company essentially is there's kind of twofold. You yourself are able to go in and send mail without actually having to use an exterior source to manage and or send it. So our cheapest like product, I guess you could say, is our 4x6 postcard, and that starts at 99 cents for one product. And depending on, we built the entire pricing structure based on an on-demand system that if you have, there are different tiers. So 1 to 99, 100 to 999, you get sort of different price point breaks depending on the quantities that you're selling. So there's no subscription to it. You can log in and manage your address book for free if you wanted to. I don't know why you do that, but you could.
That was good. That was actually one of my questions. But the second was, who are you? Sorry, my name is Mackenzie. Great job.
Justin, nice to meet you.
Who are you going after, marketing-wise? Like, what are the companies or businesses? How are you positioned? What is your market, your go-to-market place?
Right now it's service industry, real estate. We have both residential and commercial real estate businesses using this heavily. Restaurants is another big industry. We have restaurants that are using this to automate their rewards program, and essentially it's like happy birthday cards, anniversary cards, and they're seeing over 300 to 400% return on that, on top of the one guy or two people that they were using to do that manually is now freed up to do whatever it is that they want to do for the business, of course. But yeah, it's freeing up time on it.
So you mentioned one of the biggest costs before was merging the contact lists or the databases and things. Is this another database that your clients have to manage, or were you able to integrate, their existing databases somewhere, somehow with your system?
So we're not able, right now we don't have any sort of integrations with any other databases, say like Salesforce, which it's on project path right now. Excuse me. But the simplest way that we figured out was most of all these databases, all these systems, you can export a CSV or Excel spreadsheet. And all you have to do is just upload that back into the Big Mail project and just populates.
Can you tell us about, and I'm interested in the app development side of one, an example where you actually experienced a failure, maybe, or a misstep in taking your idea from the idea stage all the way to actually getting something developed. About a failure or a misstep that occurred during that time, and then what you learned from it, and then how you pivoted from that to hopefully a successful product.
Great question. So we fail daily, and if you're not failing, then you're not learning anything. I'm trying to think of one good case point that we failed at. I guess it would be okay. So the actual process for uploading your database or your Excel spreadsheet into the Big Mail project. We have a template, and we thought it would be very simple if you have your first name, last name, address, city, and state in columns, that it would be easy to go, oh, okay, that's how we do this. So copy paste. Well, people don't see that. They would just download and upload. So we had to essentially learn from either the errors that we were getting or the nasty phone calls that we received to say, this isn't working the way that we're supposed to. We just kind of say, okay, well, we understand and see what you're going through, run it through our dev environment, and then kind of just adapt on top of it. So our solution was, depending on where figuring out what the columns say before we even send it into the system, so it's even more user friendly.
Hey, it's me again.
What's up?
I had another question. I saw the part where you had the handwritten feature as one of the things that you can use in your letters and your cards. I was very curious about that because I think we've all received mail that looked like a card or something, and you open it and it turns out to be your insurance broker or your dentist or something, and it just becomes another solicitation I have to look through. But when I see something was handwritten, I'm like, okay, oh wow, you know, it was personalized to me. Let me open that up and look at it. Have you noticed from your customers? That, wow, from feedback that you've gotten from them and where they've said the handwritten thing is actually acquiring them more customers or getting them a little bit more noticed or some part of that? Because I've always been curious about, you know, these typed up cards, and does it really add any value to the businesses that send out 10,000 to their mail list versus these handwritten features? And second to that is, what is the cost difference of using a handwritten for you versus, you know, obviously the typed up version?
Okay, so your first question was about the handwritten. So a lot of what you're seeing right now is that those handwritten cards are digital fonts to basically kind of trick your brain to thinking, oh, this is actually something written for me, but really it's not. If you want to take it and just kind of pull it into the light and kind of tilt it, you'll see that it's basically digital on top of the card. That has proven to increase return, and that's just my experience going back and working in ad world, that handwritten stuff does work better. These are actual handwritten cards, so there is a flesh and bone with a pen in their hand pressing on that paper that has a different context than what you normally receive from like a real estate agent, somebody that's trying to buy your home for a fair cash value. And your second question was?
What's the cost
of
doing
yes.
handwritten versus the digital?
So the cost is much greater, but you are creating and you are breaking through everything else that is being sent. So you are investing more into it, but you will most likely see a higher return from that, because it looks like, I mean, it's marketing, it's a little more automated, but you're building a relationship with somebody, and that perception is that you took the time to write that handwritten card instead of just having a font that you picked online that just says, Dear John.
Do you have some measurements? Do you have some measurements that you've pulled from doing this from now, where you found this handwritten style has actually solicited 30% more business for the customers that you wrote this for? Have you figured out any metrics of getting that kind of feedback of what nuances you've added that, you know, return the most?
Okay, no, not yet. The actual handwritten portion is not part of the Big Mail project yet, but it is on the path. It's actually the next sort of release that we're working on right now. So we don't have any particular metrics to say, yes, you want to use all caps, or if you're a dude, you want to be sending a feminine looking handwritten letter.
Okay, we have time for one more question, but if anyone else after this has questions for Justin, he will be hanging around afterwards.
Okay, I have a very, very super serious question to ask you.
Bring it on.
When you hire someone, do you like look at their handwriting? Like, do you sit there and have them write out stuff? Is there a handwriting test in the hiring process? Like, how do you know it's going to be readable? How do you do that?
That's a trade secret. We're not willing to divulge at this time.
What?
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, this is the moment where I'd like to thank the sponsors. So, 1 million cups can't happen without coffee, and every month we have someone in the community that wants to connect with all of you, and they graciously sponsor us with coffee every week. And right now we have Kiwi Tech sponsoring all of our coffee, and the gentleman in the back named Donald, he's sitting there with a gray sports coat. He's with Kiwi Tech. I am going to read their sponsor message to you. Kiwi Tech is an integrated, innovative ecosystem designed to assist early stage businesses with tech, capital, mentorship, and go-to support, providing great value-added deal flow to investors and disruptive ideas for large corporations and user groups to adopt. So he's going to be around when this is over. If you'd like to engage with him, get his card, find out how they're penetrating the marketplace in Dallas. They're already, heavily involved within California and also in Austin. And we also would like to thank Kirchu. Murcia brings his Kirchu treats to us about every other week. We do miss you when you're not here. He's an awesome sponsor. He's been with 1 Million Cups probably for over a year. And he does this because he has a heart for entrepreneurship as well. So thank you for being here. There are tons of treats there if you have not tried them. These are original Transylvanian snacks. So help yourself. And the deck, of course, the deck provides us with this space for free. Everyone knows that the deck has moved uptown. We're going to move with them, but we're just taking a little while to make sure that we've got our AV and everything set up there. So in the meantime, we're sticking around in this space. So please stick around with us through some of the hiccups, like the elevator being locked. We'll try to have better control of that next week. So do come back and join us again next week. And then we also want to thank our resident videographer and photographer, Michael Bruner. He's standing back there with the plaid and yellow shirt. You obviously have seen him around with the camera. Feel free to connect with him as well. He does this for a living and is happy to connect with you all. Hope I haven't forgotten anyone. And High Brew, they join us once a month. They are a local Texas cold brew company, and we love to have them brother with us as well. I've got a couple of other announcements that I will actually mention when this event is over. But right now, you can actually look at your app for those of you that checked in, and you can start to give feedback. If you haven't checked in yet, please do so. Thank you so much. I'm going to welcome our second presenter. Welcoming Brandon. I know that, okay, good, yeah, you changed the slide, good. Brandon from Surfboard. Thank you. Welcome, yes, round of applause, please.
Y'all hear me? Awesome. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brandon Gardera. I'm the current COO and co-founder of Surfboard, a mobile nearby video sharing application. Today I'll be talking to you a little bit about my amazing team that I get to work with, what Surfboard is, why people are going to use Surfboard, and our project timeline up to date so far. First and foremost, a big shout out to my amazing team. Herbata is our CEO, Ben is our CMO, Maitri our CTO, and myself as a current COO as well. First of all, Surfboard is a geolocation video sharing application, meaning that somebody is able to record their live moments, share this nearby based on their customized viewing and sharing preferences in a mile radius to showcase their adventures and potentially meet friends. And in today's social media world, you meet somebody and you add them on social media, on Snapchat or on Facebook. At Surfboard, we re-engineered that concept and being able to post on social media and meet friends afterwards. One of our most important values is obviously our user. Without our users, the application and the company does not exist. So we are working very hard to make sure our user interface is very clean, effortless, and easy to navigate for each and every one of our users, as seen here. Our current industry positioning. We are currently strategically positioned amongst 3 top dogs in the social media industry, such as Snapchat, Instagram, and Meetup. While these competitors have very strong and innovative products and features every year, we are going to be one step ahead, if not more steps ahead, by sharing nearby videos in a different experience than what people are used to in social media today. Moving forward into some trends in the social media industry today. Mobile ad revenues are increasing from 2013 and are set to increase up until 2020 in the 23 billions and past that as well. Additionally, what makes Surfboard perfect is our target demographic is millennials, the 18 to 25 year age range. Almost 90% of all millennials have their smartphone on them at all times, and I myself am no exception to that rule with my smartphone right here in my pocket today. So why Surfboard? I told you a little bit about my team, how we're different than the top dogs like Snapchat, like Instagram, but why use Surfboard? Why are people going to use this? The immediate value that we see here as a college student or somebody in a community of any sort is people struggle to meet friends. People struggle to know about events. As a college student in my past couple years, I've noticed that even as a senior at school, I wouldn't know about events going on campus one story above me or one story below me. With this application and the technology we have in place, we're able to post a video, post a live moment of me at an event on campus, watching my favorite band at a venue, and sharing this nearby based on my user preferences to make it a more customized and localized user video sharing experience. Because of this, people nearby are able to engage with you. Not only are people able to view this and vote on this, but something within all of us, there's a subconscious need that needs to be satisfied to be popular, to be trending in today's satisfactory world. And when people want to be popular and trending, we have voting mechanisms in place on the application where people can feel like the king or queen of their community and be trending in their community. To do this, we target college students initially. They are very receptive and open-minded and willing to learning about new things, exploring their community, and going out to new events. Additionally, they're very knowledgeable and wise about online video sharing, social media as a whole, and how to utilize applications. And lastly, colleges are a very large population concentrated in a small radius, which makes this perfect for the nearby video sharing experience. To do this, we're going to select a few carefully chosen colleges with a large, diverse student body population, perfect the app, perfect the UI, learn from our users, learn their behaviors, track a lot of analytics, and eventually grow nationwide in the next 2 years. To do this, we will have dedicated professional brand ambassadors who will not only spread the word of our brand, our company, but the application as well. We will learn from these people through leveraging student groups like Greek Life, like student athletics, and campus organizations to get a broad, diverse database of information we can draw insights from and learn from our users. Obviously, there are costs associated with this that we have anticipated, such as our monthly server costs and our monthly marketing costs. If we plan to take this nationwide in the next 2 years, these costs are anticipated. We ran a few numbers to get an ultimate cost up there. Our revenue plan. How can we counteract these costs? How can we spread this nationwide? Obviously, we have to make money. Initially, organic ads are a good way to monetize the application, to put them seamlessly and effortlessly without bombarding users within the application. We also have a number of other strategies to monetize the application later down the road, once you perfect the application and see what people like. And finally, our timeline. As of this summer, our tech team is working very hard to finish the application development in the Android and iOS platform, to release this summer in around 5 to 8 campuses around the US, perfect the app and acquire more funding in summer of 2019 to spread nationally in 2020. And although these are very ambitious goals, our team is very passionate, very dedicated to make this happen. Answer questions.
Thank you, Brandon. I think this is really cool. The first question, of course, what can we as a community do for you?
So 2 things. Initially, I'm gonna switch that question around and see how we can help you guys actually. When this app launches, if I'm standing here and I'm able to post a video of me giving a pitch here, people nearby, depending on their viewing radius, are able to see this video, can message me and actually come to this location and take part in this community, take part in this event. So that's how we can help you. And actually, secondly, I'd love to get our logo and name up here on one of these windows. That'd be fantastic.
Hey Brandon, my name is Cordero Abdullah. I have 2 questions. First one is, where did the name Surfboard come from? And the second is, can you go over some of the user preferences for that?
Yeah. So the name Surfboard kind of came from the term, like surf the web. And because we engage in community engagement and we try to strive for a nearby interaction, it's kind of like surfing your community. We kind of had a play on words with that. The second question was some of the user preferences. Some of those are confidential and to be determined through the app and will change in the next couple of months. But there will be a designated viewing radius in which people can view their settings to see how wide of a radius they can see and post videos to around their local community.
Hi, awesome job. You guys are obviously really smart. I have a simple question, and it's all about intellectual property and IP. I was visualizing the video, and I was thinking obviously of Snapchat and some of your other stuff. So I just have a question around, let's say you guys blow up and it goes awesome, and then all of a sudden Snapchat sees it. What's the story on the intellectual property?
Okay, we've definitely anticipated things like that, and as you guys have probably seen recently, Facebook kind of adopted Snapchat Stories and changed their UI and preferences within the application. So this is something we've definitely thought about in terms of them maybe adopting features or any competitor adopting our features. It's in this game, in this industry, in this day and age, it's not being one step ahead, it's being 5 steps ahead. And we will make the legalities behind it, make sure we are protected against certain technologies we've developed, and be sure that if we have these, nobody can adopt them legally. And obviously, if it's illegal, then we take that matter down that road.
Hi, great presentation. I think you're hitting the target market really well. On kind of piggybacking his question, so Snapchat can kind of reverse engineer what you're doing right now because they already have the audience to a certain extent. So how do you kind of protect against that? Facebook, very similar large competitors in that kind of space. So that's my first question. And then the second question, do you already have relationships with those 5 to 8 target campuses, colleges that you want to work with from a legality standpoint? Because I'm actually in the same process of working with colleges to do something similar. That process, legally, to work with the schools, are you going to work with the schools or just the student organizations?
So I'll answer your second question first. So we're going to have designated brand ambassadors. These are college students on these campuses. And going through school events or campus organizations, that would be a matter of reaching out to maybe the president or leader of that organization. And if it involves going to the school dean or president, we will definitely do that. But yes, we have conversations in connection with schools we're going to have brand ambassadors at. Your first question, how we can differentiate and protect ourselves against Snapchat? Definitely a tough question. Anybody can adopt these preferences, and Snapchat definitely has a large audience, but if you guys recently have seen any news, they're very volatile. Tweets from Kylie Jenner or Rihanna dropped the stock 5% at one time in less than 10 minutes. And from talking to students just at my local school, I graduated from UTD, people are looking for something new in social media. And while it kind of goes back to what I said, I meet you, right? And then I go and add you on Facebook or on LinkedIn, but we tried to turn that around and have a social media experience and meet friends after that. It's just that initial value of being able to meet friends and that possibility, that can't be matched.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. What is exactly your revenue stream? Like how do you make money off of this? Obviously you can get funding ahead of time, but I mean, it's a free app, free sharing, everything. So how do you make money? I guess that's a question I have.
So our initial priority is gaining users to the application, getting an audience base, and from there we'll probably implement organic advertisements in there to monetize it that way at the start.
Morning. I had 2 questions. My first question is, oh my God, I'm blanking on my question all of a sudden. I see you have a sophisticated way of sharing this stuff locally, and so I wanted to ask the critique of, there's a very low-tech way of sharing locally that almost all the social media platforms use, with just hashtags to say, hashtag Jake's wedding or hashtag Coachella, whatever it is that you're at. So what's your defense of something like that? Actually, remember my second question. So if it's sharing amongst the locals, let's say you're at a concert or whatever, how do you share to broadcast to the world if you're really trying to gamify to show, look how I'm trending? Don't you want to get that feedback to show, hey everyone, I'm at this amazing sports event, I want you to see this. If you're just sharing it amongst the pool of people there, that seems it's not only transient in time and space, but Well, yeah, it's transient, it seems. So how do you share that in a more broad way?
So I'll answer the second part of that question first. So, those kind of things are to be determined. And as of now, our main focus is community interaction. That's something we see lacking in social media today. And this will kind of delve into your first question as well. What we strive to do is encourage people to interact with their community just because it's the most convenient. And to give you an anecdotal example, I have friends in Hawaii or let's say Washington, right? And they're climbing mountains or they're surfing, whatever. The most I can do interactive-wise is like a picture or comment big, hey dude, that's awesome, wish I was there. I can't actually go to that mountain and go hang out with them. With Surfboard, if I'm able to post an event right here, based on settings and technologies we've developed, people around me can see that and actually take part and interact and meet me and take part in this community. Does that answer your two questions?
So you're dealing with people and relationships and unfiltered content, like you said. Do you have concerns about some of the recent trafficking laws, and how are you going to deal with those? I mean, for instance, Craigslist, for instance, took down their personals and everything because they found it too difficult to deal with.
Definitely a great question. That's something that every social media has to deal with initially. We can't control everybody. People are going to post what they want to post. However, we're definitely going to have security measures in place that users can implement themselves, whether that be reporting content themselves to dismiss it from their feed. And we have a dedicated cybersecurity team to make sure, one, our servers are safe, and content that's on our application is appropriate and user-friendly as well.
Who wrote the software? And then second, is this going to be iOS and Android friendly? Because I hear a lot of complaints about Snapchat on Android. So maybe you could, I don't know.
It is going to be on both platforms, Android and iOS. In terms of who wrote the software, that's in-house, but I can't discuss that information.
Any other questions?
Hey, I'm Chirag. I have a question about, you might have already addressed it, but on user growth, what are kind of your goals for user numbers and timeline for that?
So, rough timeline. As of early August, we plan to launch on a few selected campuses that we discussed earlier. Gain a lot of user data, learn our consumers, see what they like and don't like about the application. Transition that and apply that in the spring of next year, January of 19. Hopefully being able to acquire more funding in that next summer to go nationwide, and then at that point, the sky's the limit in terms of users. In terms of a dedicated number, that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on perfecting the app, because with perfection, people will be drawn to the app organically.
So what have you learned along the way, and what mistakes have you all made in developing Surfboard so far?
So I think it's either Moore's or Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Nothing ever goes to plan or on schedule, and it's being adaptive and resourceful. As Justin said, leveraging your network, that's very important. I just am a recent graduate, and coming into this, there's a lot I'm learning each and every day, and that's why I love what I'm doing. I'm learning more each and every day from my colleagues, myself, about myself. In terms of mistakes, it's hard to tell. Obviously we're not perfect. Things don't go to plan and to schedule. I think one thing we could do is be more timely and precise with our actions. And one thing that we do very well is we take action and we don't get paralyzed. Paralysis analysis, if you guys have heard that phrase. We definitely strive to not do that and make sure we are implementing new things every day and taking action to make sure we achieve our national growth goals.
As I'm sitting here listening to this, I thought of a use case I don't know if you guys have thought about, but have you ever been to IKEA, for example? We were there one day with my girlfriend and her kids. That place winds around. We lost him, or one of the kids, around the corner, and it's like it's really like amazing, that place. And it was like 15 minutes of panic, right? So have you thought about use cases where, hey, this kid just went missing, blah, 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 and maybe photos or whatever that you have existing that could go out to the surrounding area and or just Crime Stoppers in general, next door type of thing. You know, I just, you know, maybe upload some surveillance video or something. I saw this guy messing with my stuff or whatever, vandalism. So have you thought about that, a crime fighting or child finding type situation?
That specifically, no. But in terms of the initial point that you made, in terms of having the locality, it prevents a lot of issues that can be solved through the application, like somebody being lost, property being vandalized, and because it's all local, it's not thousands of miles wide of a radius. It's easy to tell if your child is lost in IKEA or at Walmart. That's something we can look into further. From a gender point of view, yes, we have thought about those kinds of things, though.
I have another one. What's the difference between this and, say, the kind of events nearby feature or the bubble feature that's on Snapchat and Twitter and things like that? What makes this different?
So those are kind of predetermined by Snapchat or those other apps. They have their own, discover pages or stories for that. What we try to do is give that ability and power to the user to make their own event. And I don't have to go to an event to post a story or post a moment. I can do this anywhere and share an adventure with anybody nearby. So we're trying to give the user the power back to the user to make their own adventures to showcase with the rest of the application and users on it as well.
So it'll be more kind of like Snapchat's kind of highlight thing where I can sit in my room and like click on it and see what my neighbor's doing, because they have that. So I'm just wondering like what's the difference from that and that bubble thing that they have going on.
I'm not too familiar with like the highlighting thing that you mentioned with Snapchat, but like I said, it's going to be different because our Snapchat is dedicated to a defined and refined friends list, and our friends can be nearby, but they can be not local. I have friends, like I said, in Hawaii or Washington going to school there, and like I said, we try to focus on the interactive part of this. So by making it a nearby community and local posting, that's how we can accomplish that.
And we have time for one more question, but both presenters will be right over here to hang out afterwards.
Hi, good job, man. So I am, and I think probably other people in the audience too, that are entrepreneurial. I'm interested in your entrepreneurial journey. You mentioned that you are a recent graduate. Number one, I'd be curious, where did you graduate and what kind of support did you get from the university from which you graduated, and what other entrepreneurial experience do you have?
Okay, so I graduated actually this May from UTD with a degree in supply chain management. The last 3 months, my life has been flipped completely upside down. I'm risking a lot for this company that I co-founded with Surfboard, and doing a lot because of this. About a year ago, I founded a podcast with one of my buddies as well that was, again, targeted at millennials and getting them to think outside of the box, getting them to think outside the 9 to 5, and making them make their own story and their entrepreneurial journey. Does that kind of answer your question?
More what prepared you to do this?
Pure passion. Not only myself, my team. I can't express enough how much I love working with them every day. And there's days where at the end of the day, we get a lot accomplished, and there's other days where we've gone backwards. And it's a constant uphill journey. But I'm fully committed to this. I've flipped so many things upside down, my living situation and everything to do this. And that's what drives me every day, getting up to do these things. My founder and I had a meeting today at 7 a.m. Before this to prepare and go through the other things business-wise. And because I'm doing something I love, I don't think about, I have to work 8 hours a day. I'm getting to sit beside one of my best friends and do something I love that can potentially change the world.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much. Looking forward to what Surfboard's going to do.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Okay, so this is the moment where we give you all the opportunity to hang around and connect with each other. I do need to let you know that there is no co-working. We can no longer offer that. I mean, the desks and everything are there, and if you happen to pull out your laptop because you have to do something, fine, no problem. But we probably can only hang out here for maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes or so. There's still some coffee. I think the treats are done. Thank you again. Kurt2 has actually been with 1 Million Cups for more than 3 years. So I take back the more than 1 year, it's more than 3 years. And obviously that's a lot longer than I've been with the team. So thank you, Marcia, for being with us. I also want to mention that the launch party for the deck is happening on Friday. If you are planning to attend, you should really register, because I'm not sure how they're handling the registrations. Like if you just show up and expect to be let in, I'm not sure that that will be an option. So do go to the website and see if you can register. Then what else? I guess that's it. If you would like to give feedback, now would be the time to go to the app. It's only good for another hour and then it will disappear. If you see it tomorrow, you're lucky that it's still there, because they tell me that it's only supposed to be there for about an hour after the session's over. Thanks for being here. We look forward to seeing you next week. Same place, same time. Hopefully no troubles with the elevator. Thank you. I am looking for volunteers, so if you are interested in getting more involved, please meet me at the front. Thanks.